The Euros are here. The opening game was between Germany and Scotland was celebrating a goal kick after 3 minutes just to get absolutely battered. Musiala was incredible in this game and even got a beautiful goal to make it 2-0 before this Scotland defender crunched Gundogan to give away a penalty, which was scored by my striker King Kai. It got even worse as Fulkrug made it 4, and I think Rudiger just felt bad for Scotland, so he did this. Then for good measure, Emre Can made it 5. Next was Dark Horses Hungary against Switzerland, and they got slapped. 2-0 down before half time, and their players were slipping all over the place. They brought one back to make it 2-1. Wait, how'd he miss that? Eventually they brought one back to make it 2-1, and maybe they could have equalised if Szoboszlai wasn't so flipping bad. Then they brought on a rugby player, and that went about as well as you'd expect. Well, he's definitely hungry, alright. Before Mbolo sealed the win for Switzerland. Croatia-Spain was supposed to be a close game, but it ended up being 3-0 in the first half, with goals from Morata, Ruiz and Carvajal. And how's this guy only 16 playing in the Euros? Somehow Croatia didn't score this, then missed the penalty, and the rebound got disallowed. Is that Maldini? Are those bin bags? Italy decided to throw the ball straight to Albania for the fastest goal in Euros history, but of course Italy came back with goals from Bastoni and a bullet from Barella. This Albanian player grabbed Chiesa and still couldn't stop him, and this game ended up being the most boring game of all time after Italy took the lead. I thought Joachim Löw was bad, but wow, Ronald Koeman is disgusting. Poland went 1-0 up in this game before a Cody Gakpo equalizer. Memphis Depay, you cannot be wearing a headband and then performing like this. It's beyond embarrassing. He was replaced by the GOAT, Wout Weghorst, who scored just seconds after coming on. The best comeback of the week has to be Christian Eriksen, who went from literally dying at the last Euros to scoring Denmark's first goal at this tournament. And this Sesko guy has to be studied, because who even thinks of shooting from these positions? Before Slovakia equalised with this banger. England kicked off their tournament against Serbia, and of course Jude Bellingham scored the only goal. This guy's aura is insane, is what I'd say if I was stupid. So many people are glazing this guy, he's overrated.
I think he's come out there today with the attitude of said, listen guys, this is my game and I am him.
I've never seen a player with so much arrogance. It's insane. But one guy who isn't overrated, Bukayo Saka. Wow, 27 goals and assists and 24 starts for England. He's world class. I don't think Kane even had a touch in that first half. He was invisible, but he was still better than Philip Foden. This guy was a complete abomination to the sport. I've never seen such a useless footballer. How is this guy starting on the left over guys like Sterling and Rashford? It's a disgrace. Out of nowhere, Romania battered Ukraine. They did more damage in 90 minutes than Russia have done in the last 2 years. It was crazy. I don't know what Ukraine's goalkeeper was doing. I thought he was supposed to be good. And I just know Zinchenko was in tears in that dressing room, man. But I can't lie, celebrating like this after the first group game is insane. This bozo Doku decided to do skills and pass it across his own box. But certified bozo of the week has to be Romelu Lukaku. I have never seen such a donkey in front of goal. This guy runs like a hippopotamus. I've seen people saying he's cursed, but this guy ain't just cursed. He's been excommunicated from goal scoring, G. Because how do you have not just 1, but 2 goals ruled out? And every time we see this pose, we know this guy's just pulled off an all-timer embarrassment. Mbappe was on form against Austria, setting up an own goal before going through on goal to make it 2-0. Bruh. And then he absolutely bukakied his nose. Oh my days, bruh. Kante is still world class, and Giroud is still a donkey. Turkey versus Georgia ended up being one of the best games so far. It had banger after banger, starting with this one, before Georgia equalised 5 minutes later. In the second half, Arda Güler pulled out this screamer, and in the last minute, Turkey sealed the 3 points. Of course, all eyes were on Ronaldo in Portugal's opener, but it was the Czech Republic who opened the scoring with another beautiful goal. Portugal equalised through a lot of luck.
What is the goalkeeper doing?
Diogo Jota announced his baby for no reason because Ronaldo was offside. But of course, Portugal got lucky again. Albania took the lead early again against Croatia. However, 2 quick-fire goals from Croatia turned the game around. It was looking like Albania were going out, but in the last minute, they equalised to make it 2-2. No prizes for guessing who won between Germany and Hungary. Another goal for Musiala, and Gundogan scored as well. Then the main man, Martin Adam, came on and innocently started smashing players. This is what the Euros is all about. I love this guy.
This is football heritage.
Scotland finally did something good, and of course it was McSauce. But one thing is inevitable every tournament: a Xherdan Shaqiri banger. This guy reappears every 2 years to score an all-timer. Slovenia impressed again, going 1-0 up against Serbia. In this game, Mitrovic was pulling off his best Lukaku impression, but Serbia would equalise in the last minute through Luka Jovic. Can someone please tell me what Oblak is doing standing in his own goal? England got off to a great start against Denmark, Harry Kane getting his first goal of the tournament, and of course another Saka assist. But then they were absolutely tragic. Phil Foden was awful yet again, but wow, this goal was beautiful. And how is Southgate gonna tell people to think when you literally subbed off your best player? I couldn't believe it. Cole Palmer was where he belongs, and Neil Maupay did not hold back on Twitter. Nico Williams killed a man, and again, before Maldini regen turned into Harry Maguire. Ukraine went 1-0 down again, and of course it was Zinchenko beaten at the back post. But before he had a chance to start crying, he got an assist to make it 1-1, and then Dennis Bergkamp put on a Ukraine shirt to complete the comeback. Poland got absolutely dominated by Austria, and whilst they did equalise, they conceded another 2 in the second half, going 3-1 down. Poland were in need of 2 goals, but Lewandowski was too busy learning some new TikTok dances as they became the first team knocked out the tournament. With no Mbappe, France-Netherlands ended 0-0 thanks to 2 bozos. First, Adrien Rabiot, who decided not to shoot from here, and also the VAR, who ruled out this goal. How? And Mbappe must have had a bet on the Netherlands win. The Czech Republic drew with Georgia thanks to Patrick Schick's first goal of the tournament, before Turkey got absolutely stuffed by Portugal. And it doesn't help when you no-look pass the ball into your own net like that. What a bozo! And I think everyone was surprised when they saw Ronaldo pass this. Tielemans got Belgium's first goal of the tournament, and Lukaku must have done some heinous crimes in a past life to have a 3rd goal ruled out. I'm just waiting for that Lukaku diss track on VAR. But Belgium eventually got their second thanks to a long ball finished by De Bruyne. Switzerland took the lead against Germany, and it looked like they would get a famous win. But then Füllkrug came up clutch in the last minute to win the group for Germany. Somehow this wasn't a penalty for Scotland, because it was a dive. And I don't think I've ever seen so many chances missed in stoppage time. By both teams, it was incredible. But in the 99th minute, Hungary finally took one of their chances to give them hope of making the knockouts. Torres completed Spain's 100% record to knock Albania out, and Modric thought he'd fumbled his chance just to score this 30 seconds later. Croatia thought they were heading through, but then in the 98th minute, Italy broke their hearts with this strike. Calafiori, mate, you're in the round of 16, not the semis. Mbappe got his first Euros goal through a penalty, and Lewandowski equalised with his last Euros goal through a penalty. Marlon scored an own goal to give Austria the lead, but Gakpo brought one back to the Netherlands. Austria retook the lead just for Depay to level the scores again, but they had no reply to Sabitzer's late winner, meaning Austria topped the group. And I refuse to speak about this abomination of a group. Just 7 goals in 6 matches. Ukraine-Belgium was another 0-0, and of course Zinchenko was crying after the game. But Slovakia and Romania finally delivered us some goals as they both qualified with a draw. Turkey and Czechia played out a thrilling game trying to secure a knockout place, and was won by a stoppage time Cenk Tosin strike. And Georgia got their first ever win at the Euros with goals from Kvaratskhelia and a penalty by this guy with another long name I cannot pronounce to beat Portugal and qualify for the knockouts.
3, 2, 1, go!
The round of 16 began with Switzerland dominating Italy and capping off a great performance with this banger from Vargas. Joachim Andersen had arguably the worst 30 seconds in Euros history, having a goal disallowed before giving away a penalty which was scored by Kai Havertz. And then Musiala went through to knock Denmark out. England were embarrassing again and went 1-0 down to Slovakia, needing a last-minute Bellingham wonder goal to save them. And then in extra time, Kane won it to send England through. Georgia took the lead against Spain, but it would be short-lived as Rodri levelled the scores. Fabian Ruiz scored again to put Spain ahead, before Nico Williams skinned his man to make it 3, and Dani Olmo rounded off the scoring late on. France-Belgium was one of the most boring games of all time, and was typically won by an own goal. Cristiano Ronaldo had the chance to score his first goal of the tournament, but his penalty was saved by Jan Oblak. How sad! But then Portugal's goalkeeper turned into prime Lev Yashin, saving 3 penalties in a row to knock Slovenia out and save Ronaldo's blushes. Gakpo was on form again with a goal and an assist against Romania, before Marlon sealed the win with his second goal late on. Turkey scored potentially the scrappiest goal of all time, and then scored again from another corner to go 2-0 up. Austria pulled one back and nearly completed the comeback if not for this incredible save. Musiala had Rodri eating grass in the quarterfinals, but it was Spain starred by Lamine Yamal who got an assist to put Spain in the lead. Wirtz Rice levelled the scores in the 89th minute to send the game to extra time, but in the last minute of extra time, Mikel Merino won the game for Spain. There was still time for Dani Carvajal to pull off his best Chiellini impression, but that was it for Toni Kroos and for Germany, and it was deserved, just for that trim alone. France-Portugal ended 0-0 and went to penalties. João Felix was the only player to miss, as Theo Hernandez scored the winner to take France into the semis and end Ronaldo's dream send-off. England went 1-0 down yet again through Mbolo, and Jude Bellingham still has aura when losing, because how was he able to stop the manager from subbing him off? But England's real hero was Bukayo Saka, who stepped up when his nation needed him most to save the game. Of course he scored his penalty, whilst Akanji took the worst penalty of all time to send England through to the semi-finals. Turkey took the lead against the Dutch, but they headed themselves back level before Gakpo forced an own goal to win the game for the Netherlands. In the semis, Mbappe set up Kolo Muani to make it 1-0, but at just 16 years old, Lamine Yamal scored this beauty to level the scores and write his name in the history books, before Dani Olmo scored in the third knockout game in a row with some beautiful close control to send Spain to the final. In the other semi-final, Xavi Simons scored this banger to put the Dutch in the lead. I will never understand how this was given as a penalty, but of course, Harry Kane scored it, and then in the final minute, Ollie Watkins scored his first goal of Euros to send England to Berlin. It all came down to this, the biggest game in European football. Who was going to win, English or Spanish? And deservedly, Spain became the first team to win the Euros 4 times. With a 16-year-old bruv.